I took my roast chicken to Jamaica. Come goody, happy in. Every week when I go to the grocery store, I buy a spatchcock chicken. My thought is any good cook should know how to make some kind of roast chicken recipe. I'm Jamaican by heritage, so I wanted to take my roast chicken to Jamaica, but I'm not gonna jerk it. Cabbage. In Jamaica, we use a ton of cabbage regularly. So I thought, what if I cut the cabbage up into thicker wedges and baked the chicken on top of it? I'm also filming for Instagram. Similarly to how they add potatoes and carrots at the bottom of a roast chicken, I wanna do a traditional Jamaican roast chicken. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. I'm kind of nervous. Any good roast chicken starts with a compound butter. So I have 2 sticks of butter here. This might be too much. It's not completely softened yet, so that's why I'm trying to mash it up and let it come to room temperature so it's easier to work with. By the time I'm done adding the ingredients, we'll be there. But yes, so I'm going to make a scallion and thyme compound butter. In Jamaica, that is one of the main ingredients, is scallion and thyme. We put scallion and thyme in everything. Every single dish, scallion and thyme in everything. So I'm just gonna try to remove as much of the thyme leaves as possible and just sprinkle them directly into the butter. And I'm going to add some more of our traditional ingredients. So we use a lot of scallion, thyme, Scotch bonnet pepper, pimento or allspice. So I think that's what my compound butter is going to consist of today. We need to taste that. We need those flavors to really pull through. Just try to remove as much of the woody stems as possible and get more of the leaves. I love, love, love the way thyme smells. Can you guys see this? I hope so. Let me move this over a little bit. Okay, that should be good. Yes. I'm gonna do a lot of thyme leaves. Listen, everything I do is a labor of love, honey. So if you're ever blessed to eat in the Scott Louis kitchen, if you ever get a dish from the diva, consider yourself blessed, because everything I do takes time and lots of love. That should be a good amount of time. Now we're gonna get some scallion in there. I'm gonna chop up some scallion to go in there. I'm gonna try to cut this as fine as possible, but it really doesn't matter because it'll melt down. You guys can't even see my cutting skills. It'll melt down and give you that nice herbaceous flavor. Cut all the way down to the white. And then you just want to drop that in there. So we have scallion and thyme. Now, I'm going to use ground allspice because I don't want anybody to bite down on a hunk of pimento seed. So I'm just gonna do a good amount of allspice. I'm gonna do a bit of this Grace garlic ginger pimento seasoning. It's a bit of that. And then I'm gonna do some of this garlic puree paste. I'm running low on this puree paste, so I'm really having to struggle to get it out. I came up with this in my bed this morning. I was like, okay, this could either be really, really good or this could be not the best. Another flavor we use a lot in Jamaican cuisine is ginger. So I'm going to grate some fresh ginger in here as well. Fresh ginger, we're just gonna grate that right into our butter mix. Ooh. Okay. Next, I want to cut a little piece of Scotch bonnet pepper just for a little spice. We're not going to use too much. Just want a little heat in there. And I didn't do the seeds, so it'll still have a nice flavor though. And this is our island compound butter. So now we just need to mix everything together. You should definitely have your butter be a little bit softer than this, a little bit more room temperature, but I woke up and decided to do this prematurely. So sometimes you gotta struggle. Actually, you never have to struggle. Struggle is a choice. And I choose to not struggle. Just want to keep mixing. Listen, this is my workout for the day. This smells so good. Oh my God. Just make sure everything is well mixed, well incorporated. Woo! This is definitely an arm workout. Oh man. Okay. And that's your island compound butter. Okay, we're going to put the butter to the side. And now we're gonna work on our root vegetable, which normally with any kind of roast chicken, you have a root vegetable, which is normally carrots and potatoes. But I wanted to do cabbage. And I wanted the cabbage to be big, almost in like wedges. So I bought two just in case I cut it in a way I don't like it. So let's see what we get. I'm just gonna peel off those two outer layers. Just think those are a little gunky, gross, and disgusting, right? And then I'm going to cut the root off first. Or actually, no, I'm gonna cut it in half because I might want it to be able to stay whole. I'm just gonna cut most of the root off because it's also gunky, gross, and disgusting. And I think what I'm gonna do is cabbage steaks. So, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I don't know which way to cut it. I don't know if I go this way. I really wanted to go across like that so that they can kind of stay like steaks, you know? I think that's how I want to do it. I hope I enjoy this. Yeah, I think I want to do it like, bitch, is this lettuce? Oh, no. Is this lettuce? No, this is cabbage. Girl, calm down. Okay. So yeah, I think I want them to be almost like that. So then as they cook, you can just like pull them out and they'll be like wilty and soak up all the juice and the butter. I think that's how I want them to be done. So let me cut them up and wash them up. Let's get our baking dish down, which is going to be my Le Creuset. I think we need to pull this up a little bit. All right, better. Here we go. And this is gonna be really juicy, so I'm not gonna oil the pan. I hope I don't regret that. I think I'm gonna go face down. I did put some extra pieces in. I did end up cutting the second cabbage up, just because I think they should be thicker to be more substantial and stay formed. But anything that I don't use, I'll make bull beef and cabbage in the week. Yeah. So anything that's left over, I'll make corned beef and cabbage in the week for the non-Jamaicans in the room. See, I think this is pretty. This is very, very pretty. Maybe just put one right there. Okay, so that's gonna be our base. Our chicken will live on top of this. Next, carrots. Unfortunately, they didn't have any loose carrots. They only had like the bags of carrots at Wegmans today. So I just bought the petite ones. Just gonna figure out how we cut these. I think maybe we just go half, cut them in half. Just make it pretty. This is so pretty. This feels like almost like a Easter dish or something, you know? Just the way it's arranged, it feels like it should be something on like an Easter table. So yeah, traditionally, cabbage would be, we would do steamed cabbage with as our side, or coleslaw, which is just salad, you know, or fresh salad, which is like cucumber, lettuce, tomato, garden salad, or whatever. So we're just gonna try something a little different today and just add the ingredients, but in a different way. So I think that's enough on the carrots. Maybe just a few more, because, you know, the carrots get sweet and nice and give us a little lift. Next, we're gonna need onion. And I'm gonna also cut this a little bit thick, a little bit rustic. Very similarly to how you would do any kind of root vegetable on a regular roast. Just make these rustic and just toss them in there. We're gonna add a couple sprigs of fresh thyme. And then some fresh scallion. I'm gonna cut these again thicker and longer. All of these ingredients will just be rough and rustic. Wonderful. I'm gonna do a little piece of hot pepper. Just a couple little pieces of hot pepper. Scotch bonnet pepper. Lovely. And then we're just gonna hit these with a little bit of Diamond Crystal kosher salt. And some black pepper. Keeping it very simple because it'll pull all of the juices from the chicken and it'll absorb all of that flavor. Now, here's where it gets interesting, the chicken. So I'm gonna season the chicken directly in here on top of this, but before anything else, we need to get our bird in here and we need to make sure she's very dry. So this is a washed and cleaned spatchcock chicken. I just washed it with a bit of lime, vinegar, salt, just to get, you know, all of the grossness off. Now we need to pat it very, very dry. You want it to be extremely dry. And I'm gonna keep this on reserve in case I need to. And we're going to also get our fingers, and you know, this is a messy job. And you wanna separate the skin from the breast because we're gonna wanna put all of that good butter under there. All right, speaking of our butter, here we go with our scallion and thyme compound butter. Just gonna get a good healthy amount. And I'm gonna start by going under the skin. I kept a second spoon here so that we don't contaminate the butter, because I don't think I'm gonna use all of it, but I will freeze anything that's left over. And you just wanna get that butter under there. Honestly, this is so much easier with gloves. I should have put gloves on, but I've already started and I just can't give up now. And you just wanna spread that butter across the breast. Get it well under there. I should have gotten gloves. The thing for me is I will wash my hands 100 times. So dirty spoon, clean spoon. This one will live inside the butter, and then we'll just do that so it doesn't touch anything, and just get as much of that butter out as possible. And then we'll use this spoon to work with. This spoon will touch the chicken and all of the things. You see that it's just gliding on very nicely, but we need some to go on the other side of the breast. That little guy doesn't want to stay down. And just spread that down across the breast. And then just spread this on the outside of the chicken. You guys, I made a mistake already. What did I not do that I was supposed to do? I didn't put the preliminary seasonings on the chicken, but you know what? Honestly, it really doesn't matter because I can put it on top of the butter and it'll still be fine. But I prefer to just do a little salt and pepper directly on the chicken before I put the butter on. However, it'll still be great, still be delectable. What you always want to do is separate that too and make sure you get under that skin. You want to paint this chicken like art, you know? I mean, technically it is art. This is culinary art. Just keep spreading, spreading, spreading. I actually think I might use all of this butter if I'm not mistaken, but let's see. So we're kind of to the wire. I don't think I need much more. Ah! It's very tough. Let's get a little bit on that wing, on this wing. Let's get a smidge more of that butter. Right here. And just keep spreading. Keep spreading, spreading. Okay, I'm just going to add a couple powdered seasonings, like a little paprika and stuff for some color. But first, let me wash my hands. I am gonna add some yard spice by Dinner Plus. These will be back soon, but you can always just add a little powdered jerk seasoning. Will give you sort of the same vibe, not completely. Or you can add a little complete seasoning and paprika. But I just want this, you know, for prettiness. Nice bit of color. Just gonna add a little all-purpose right on top. Also, I used unsalted butter as well. Last bit I'm gonna add is a little bit of black pepper over top. A lot of the powdered seasonings I used do contain black pepper. And then I'm gonna add some chicken broth right at the bottom, so we have a little extra moisture in there and juiciness. Just a bit right around the rim, right around the perimeter. Now, before I stick this in the oven, I'm gonna let this sit and marinate for about 45 minutes to an hour. It is rather early, so I'm not prepared to cook yet, but that's perfect. This will give it some time to marinate and chill. So I'll be back in an hour. Just want you to see it one last time before it goes in. It smells so good. Honestly, I wouldn't eat it raw, but it smells so good. Oh my God. So yes, it smells so good and it looks so pretty. I think it's gonna be really nice. Fingers crossed, be good to me. So we're gonna stick this in a 375-degree oven for about 45 minutes to an hour. Take a look at it, steal some of its juices to make like a pan gravy, and then knock it up so it can get some color on there. In addition to the chicken, I did make some gungo rice and peas. Ah. See it there? It's hot. It's very hot. Let me fluff this up real quick. Actually, ooh, I shouldn't put it on the counter. Oopsie. Let's get a trivet. Let's fluff this up. Wow. Watch gungo rice and peas. Wow, Shelly and nice. Yeah. Shelly and Fraser rice. It smells so good. And let me tell you something. I don't trust your rice if I don't see this. If I don't see the foil covering the pot and then the lid, I don't trust the rice. The rice not gonna nice. It not gonna nice without that. May I tell you, the rice is not gonna nice without it. We need the rice for steam properly, Shelly and nice. Nice rice, watch it. Take out the pepper. Wow. This rice smells so good. For the non-Jamaicans in the room, gungo rice and peas is like it's rice and peas. It's made the same way, same ingredients. It's just pigeon peas instead of red kidney beans. But same amount of love, same amount of flavor. I personally prefer gungo rice and peas with curry. If I don't have white rice, if it's gonna be a rice and peas night, I love it with curry. Just cause it's kind of close to white rice, you know? Cause me loves the curry gravy more than anything. I'm just trying to pick out all of like the seasonings, so like scallion and the pimento and thyme and stuff, and just fluff up the rice. Okay, and then can taste like a bit. Wow. Murder. Whoa. Niceness. All right, let's grab the chicken from the oven and see how she's doing. Right. You guys probably should see the chicken and not me anymore. Right, here we go. Moment of truth. I'm nervous. Oh, she's gorgeous. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Oh, I love what this is looking like. Okay. So we have lots of juice, lots of herb, lots of good color already happening. The chicken is well cooked. It's separating from the bone, as you can see. The cabbage, you can smell the sweetness from the cabbage. You can see how translucent the cabbage is too. So everything's fully cooked. Right now, what we need to do is get some of this buttery sauciness up and make a little gravy to go with this chicken. How are we gonna do this? I don't know if I mentioned, I don't know if I just turned the oven up to 400 degrees, but I don't know if I mentioned in my last couple videos, I cannot for the life of me find my turkey baster. I don't know where that thing has gone. It is the biggest mystery because I haven't used it in so long, but I cannot find it anywhere. It's really driving me insane. And I know I could just go get another one, but I had a really nice one. This is don't do this at home, guys. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm just gonna try to pour off. Oh shit. Like I said, do as I say, not as I do. All right, I've poured off a lot of that moisture. We're gonna stick this chicken back in the oven uncovered, but first I wanna bring up some of those juices to the top, which is where a turkey baster would come in handy. This is the point where a baster would be handy, you know? But let's just get some of those juices up on top of the chicken. Just let it go back in. We just cranked the oven up to 400. We're gonna let it get some color on it. And while that's happening, I'm gonna make a sweet pepper gravy. Yeah, I think that'll be nice. Okay, so for the sweet pepper gravy, we're gonna need peppers. And just need just a little piece of pepper. And since I have this half a red onion here, let's use it as well. So I'm just gonna cut this the long way. Ooh, probably should cut that root off. Now back to what we were doing. Like I said, everything with me is a bit rustic, you know? I'm not classically trained. I just love to try things and come up with things in the kitchen. So please don't judge. I didn't go to culinary school. I just love to cook and I love to eat. So passion is what led me here. Self-sufficiency is what led me here, or being self-sufficient. I don't know if sufficiency is a word. Being self-sufficient is what led me here, okay? The ability to never be starved, okay? No bitch can't starve me, okay? Because I can cook. Just gonna cut up these peppers. I'm not gonna use all of this red pepper. Just want a couple pieces. Okay, peppers and onion for our pepper gravy. Okay, so as you can see on top of this here, that is butter, and then at the bottom, that is juice or jus, you know, like the drippings. So I'm gonna try to get as much of that butter into this pan as possible. I'm gonna try to skim off any of that butter because we'll obviously need that to make our gravy. Now, like anyone knows, when oil and water come together, it does get a little sticky. It starts to pop everywhere, and we don't want that. So let's just hope for the best here. So all of this buttery goodness, we're gonna saute our veg in all of this buttery goodness. I'm gonna hit that with a little bit of diamond crystal kosher salt, just a smidge, and a little black pepper. I'm also gonna add a little bit of the Jamaica's Choice green seasoning, you know, just to have those flavors. Just a smidge. She's very thick. Try to get a bit more of that butter down in here. Reason being is we're about to make gravy and we need the butter to make our roux. So now we're gonna add some flour in here. We want to just cook that off, let that thicken up a bit. This will help us make our gravy. Just want to cook off that rawness, that very raw flour taste. Don't be alarmed at how it looks now. It'll look better as time progresses. Okay, now we're gonna add in the remaining jus. And as this cooks down, it'll thicken up, and that will make our pepper gravy. And if it gets too thick, which it currently is, best way to loosen it up is with a bit of chicken broth. And there you have some silky gravy. I'm gonna let this simmer down on low, let everything cook together, let all of those flavors marry together. So I'm just gonna leave that on a low simmer. Okay, and here is the chicken fresh, ooh, Lord Jesus, fresh out of the oven. We're gonna give it one more baste. Just a little quick one. And then we're gonna cover it and let it rest for at least 10 minutes. All right. Okay, moment of truth. Yes. And here is the sweet pepper gravy. What piece of the chicken do I want? Here, you guys should see this. You don't need to look at me. You need to look at my meal. I'm gonna go dark. Wow, look at how easily that cut. Like, nothing. Okay, let's get a bit of that cabbage. Let's just get one of these steaks Ooh, juicy. Wow. Okay, would you look at that? Let's get a couple carrots. This looks great, and it smells even better. Okay. Let's move this over. And let's get a bit of that sweet pepper gravy. A little bit of this sweet pepper gravy on the chicken. You know, if you look at this, you can't tell that it's Jamaican, but it's not about the look, it's about the flavors, okay? It's all in the flavor. Moment of truth. Thank you, Lord. Amen. I'm so excited. Hold on, I want you guys to see my face for this. All right, moment of truth. Okay, wow. Tender. Falling off the bone. We got a good big bite. Big bite. We got a bone. Honey, I'm gonna need some privacy with this plate. Oh, that pepper gravy. Oh, that pepper gravy sealed it. Okay, let's taste the cabbage. Because the cabbage has all that juice in it. The cabbage is so soft. You know what I taste a lot in the cabbage is the thyme. Wow. Oh, wow. It's a little spicy, but she is good.